going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 45 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Since I talked about a Paul Dini book yesterday, I thought I would go ahead and talk about another one today. This is The World's Greatest Superheroes. This is a collection of short standalone stories written by Paul Dini and drawn by Alex Ross. And most of these are books that you've probably seen or heard of before. They were standalone stories featuring characters from the DC Universe tackling real-world problems. For example, there's a story where Captain Marvel kind of tackles child abuse. There's one where Batman tackles children getting involved in crime and getting involved in child gangs and stuff like that. Superman tries to defeat world hunger. Different things like that, which are stories that are very heavy, and they're stories that don't really fit in the DC Universe. But if I had to choose anyone to tackle these very heavy real-world topics, it would be Paul Dini and Alex Ross. Paul Dini because he's a heck of a writer, and Alex Ross because his art style is very realistic. And so since you're tackling real-world problems, I don't know why I went for the air quotes just in, since you're tackling real-world problems, who better than to get someone who draws in a very realistic style? So all of these stories are incredibly well executed, and I really don't have a whole lot more to say about this book other than you should check this out if you can find it. I actually got this book for Christmas a couple years ago, or it might have been for my birthday, I don't remember, but it was something that I didn't even know I was getting it, and I don't think that the person who got it for me knew that they were getting it for me. I think they may have accidentally got it or something, I don't remember, but turns out this book is kind of hard to find online. It's a little pricey, but if you can find it in the wild somewhere, like in a bookstore or something, I highly recommend that you get it. All these stories are very much worth the effort. There's one story here that's a little bit of an outlier, which is still a very good story, and it's a Justice League story. It's just the Justice League fighting a world plague, and it's not really the same as any of the others. It's not like, I don't know, Superman trying to combat world hunger. It feels a little bit more science fiction-y, since this is a plague that threatens to wipe out all of humanity, and you're getting to see the Justice League work together to try and stop this thing. It feels more like a normal Justice League story that would exist in the DC Universe, but it's still really good. It's still written by Paul Dini, it's still drawn by Alex Ross, it's still amazing to look at, it's still amazing to read. But that's the one that kind of feels a little out of place in this book, but I'm not in any way complaining because I still really enjoyed that story. I really enjoyed all of these stories. I don't have a whole lot more to say here since this isn't one narrative that flows through the entire book. It's several shorter stories that are all collected in one omnibus of sorts, if you will. But if you can find this book somewhere, I would highly recommend that you buy it. Back when these individual books were coming out, I know that Alex Ross actually donated all the proceeds that he got to different charities for each one. That's something I talked about way back when I talked about mythology, about the art of Alex Ross. But that's something that's really cool, and I don't know if that's actually still going on. Like, if you bought this book new somewhere, I don't know if that would still be a thing that Alex Ross is doing, but that's something cool, a little bit of history about this book. But I don't have a whole lot more to say other than I really enjoyed this book, and you probably will too if you can find it somewhere. I hope that you can. I'm kind of sad that this book is out of print and so hard to find online, but if you can find it somewhere, I definitely recommend that you pick it up. That's all that I have to say. I hope that you guys liked this video, and I will be back tomorrow with a different kind of video. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.